Gentlemen, which brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Well, that's right, LT. Smoking crack is a bad thing. This is Tim. This is your Giant Straight Talk. Want to talk about Saquon Barkley. Want to talk about the stalemate the contract is currently in, or allegedly in, and the fact that there is some rumors and speculations that Barkley could sit out week 1. I said this before. This is a dangerous game of chicken that both Saquon Barkley and the New York Giants are playing, and it is a game that it could potentially end horribly for both parties involved, because of the fact that if we ever notice that a lot of times that when running backs or any player in general hold out and miss almost the entire training camp and come back either week 1 or week 2, there's usually an injury involved 3-4 plays in. Speaking of injuries, the Giants, of course, lost Davis, the linebacker. He's out for a while after surgery. I laugh and I don't laugh because it just kind of kills me, because I see these things on Twitter that people are going crazy. How are we going to replace Davis? Oh my God, what are we going to do? It reminds me, if you go back in time, and we remember the Corey Coleman fiasco, when Corey Coleman went down in training camp and everybody freaked out when we lost the punt returner, Corey Coleman. Davis had 11 tackles last year. He was moved on from by Detroit. He hasn't really made an impact in the league since probably his first 2 years in the season. And I love it because he was a former first-round overall pick in 2017. I think he had a total, though, counting the playoffs, of 18 tackles on 165 defensive plays, 2 quarterback hits, and a tackle for a loss and half a sack and a pass defended. Oh, my God. How can we possibly replace this? We're already thin at the linebacker position. We've said this before, that we kind of disregarded it a little bit again. It's not as bad as Jerry Reese when he used to disregard the linebacker position and try to get guys in the later round. But the Giants have, besides going out and getting Bobby Okereke, have really been just been ignoring the linebackers. And in Wink's defense, you are going to need a certain amount of linebackers. But the loss of Davis is not going to hinder the season. I don't want to go back in time again to the Corey Coleman fiasco when we lost Coleman. The season was lost forever. You need to worry more about Saquon Barkley. You need to worry about this dangerous game of chicken that the Giants are playing. Now, Barkley has not signed a tag, and he basically said that he's not going to sign the tag. That it's going to have the tag is not acceptable. That he just doesn't feel like, $10.091 million for the 2023 season is what he wants to play under, which will then put his doubt for the Dallas game in jeopardy. Now, the question is this: if you lose Saquon Barkley for this game, and you have the running backs that we have, and I know some people have put a huge importance on this Dallas game. I know R0B, my friend Rob, who of course is with us every Sunday, said that this is a must-win game. I never heard week 1 as a must-win game, but it's a divisional game. It's a game against the Cowboys. Daniel Jones has never beat Dak Prescott. It's not a good situation to start the season 0-1 with your star running back out. Because even if he signs after week 1, let's say, he may not be ready for week 2 or 3. So then you're going to have to hope that the new high-powered Giant offense is going to click on all cylinders. And I think most people that follow the NFL and have been following it for years understand that the defenses are usually ahead of the offenses when they get into or come out of training camp. Because of the fact that it's a lot easier, especially if you have a timing offense, it's a lot easier to tell your defense, hey, listen, just go attack, than it is when you have to run timing patterns. You got to run timing routes. Everyone has to get on the same page. So a strong running game is going to be needed going up against a team like Dallas, because Dallas, like Philadelphia, now Dallas is not as loaded as Philadelphia, but Dallas is a loaded team. Dallas has made some changes this offseason that can really help them going into the 2023 season. Do I think that Saquon Barkley would have a long-term holdout? I said this before. I kind of think that Barkley is the kind of guy that, yes, he loves football, but he understands football. And he understands that football may be his life for the next 5-6 years, but that's going to be it. And he is articulate enough, and he has the right personality and the right mentality to go out and be an analyst, to go out and work for a work for a college, ESPN college football, or be a pro analyst. He has that persona. So football, while is a big part of his life right now, because you can tell by the way that he trains and the way that he works, it's just one of those things. The clock is ticking. The 17th is coming up, and there's a 4 p.m. deadline. Now, like I said, it is reported that Barkley is considering sitting out out regular season games if he's under the franchise tag. He doesn't want to be under the tag. I understand that. Now, but this is a two-way street. If the Giants go out week 1 and destroy Dallas, and the running game is an afterthought because they have become proficient in the pass and they're relying solely on Daniel Jones, then Saquon Barkley's bargaining power goes down. If the Giants go up and put up a 31-17 stinker and they rush the ball 22 times for 50 yards and Daniel Jones does not play well, then you turn around and Saquon Barkley has the upper hand. And that's why this is a dangerous game for both parties. Because of the fact that if he misses, let's say, 4 games, as a Giant, you can't get those 4 games back. I'm more concerned if the Giants if he misses the first, let's say, 4 games of the season, Saquon Barkley. And I'm just throwing that number out there. But let's say he misses those first 4 games of the season. Or even we could say, we're looking at Dallas, Arizona, which hopefully should be a win, the 49ers, and the Seahawks. And then it doesn't get any better with the Dolphins, the Bills. You get a little bit of break with the Commanders, but then you hit the Jets. You get a little bit of break with the Raiders, but then you go back to the Cowboys, back to the Raiders, the Patriots again. It could get ugly quick for the Giants. The Giants could be looking at maybe a 1-3 start without Saquon Barkley. And Lord knows, maybe they go 0-4. But then on the other hand, what if the Giants defense starts clicking, even though with the loss of Davis? What if the Giants defense starts clicking? What if the offense starts clicking and they go 4-0? Then all the bargaining power goes back to the Giants itself. And at the end of the day, this is a no-win situation for anyone right now. And I think one player you need to look at, and is probably looking at this situation with bated breath, is going to be Xavier McKinney. Because Xavier McKinney's contract's coming up as well. If you're having this much problems and you're stalling this much to get your all-world running back under contract, what are you going to do with Xavier when his contract is up? What are you going to do then? It's going to be interesting. And then you have to think if it's 2024, and the Giants don't sign a long-term deal, and let's say Barkley comes in, do they tag Barkley again in 2024, or do they tag McKinney? And I know McKinney had the freak ATV accident, and that wasn't even a freak accident. I don't even call that a freak accident. He had an accident. Nothing freak you about. He was doing shit he shouldn't have been doing. Let's just say it like it is. He's lucky the Giants didn't void parts of his contract because there is a stipulation going back to Jay Williams in basketball when he got hurt on the motorcycle after his rookie season with the Bulls, that you cannot ride any type of these recreation vehicles during the season or even after the season because of these types of injuries. Yeah. I don't know what I don't know what the long-term game is right now for Joe Shane and Saquon Barkley. I really don't. I'm not sure Saquon Barkley seems to have the issue that it's the guaranteed money that's holding up the deal. And I can understand that. You get a 4-year deal, but you only guarantee the first year and a half. That's something you probably don't want. And you don't want to play under a $10 million guaranteed deal either because you want to have that security. But I think there has to be a middle road. There has to be a middle ground. I don't know why I don't understand why Joe is being such a hard ass with Saquon. I really don't, because of the fact it's you look at you look at what he does for this offense, Saquon Barkley, and you feel you understand the difference he makes when he's on to this team. And it's a dangerous game because you do have a quarterback whose best season right now is 3,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. That's his best season, and that was his best season with a healthy Saquon Barkley. So you're rolling the dice with Daniel Jones. You're rolling the dice with Saquon Barkley. You're rolling the dice with 2023. I know people will say, well, this is only the second year of a rebuild, but that's not what people are talking. I love when people, you win 9 games, you go to the playoffs, you win a playoff game, and all of a sudden, when things don't start turning the way for certain fans, well, this is only year 2 of a rebuild. Yeah, you've built up some credit with the fan base, as Joe Shane and Brian Dable have done. But that credit will go away. You will use those chips quickly if you go 0-5 and Saquon Barkley is still missing and the season is hanging in the balance. So let's hope everyone can get on the same page. We'll have the big stream on Sunday. We got our training camp tickets, so we're going to be going there and doing some stuff from the training camp. Also going to be doing the Coaches Club ticket giveaway for that first preseason game against the Carolina Panthers. We're going to take 3 subscribers again. We did this last year and we had a lot of fun with it, so we're going to do it again this year. So you know what? This is Tim. This is New York Giants Straight Talk. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, because you want to know why? That'd be awesome.